In this interview, we're joined by Bruce Schneier for a talk on Mythos. He is one of the world's leading cybersecurity experts, known for his work in cryptography, AI security, and digital privacy. Over the past few decades, he's advised governments, companies, and organizations on some of the biggest cybersecurity challenges shaping the modern world. There is a lot of hype around Mythos right now. Some people see it as a genuine leap in AI cyber capability, while others call it fear based marketing. However, looking at the benchmark scores from Anthropic, that tells a different story. So, what are your thoughts on that?
So it is both marketing bullshit and it's real. I mean, of course, Anthropic's benchmarks will make Anthropic's models look good. That's not interesting. What's more interesting is what other people think of it. And what we know is it's about the same as everybody else, right? It's the same as a GPT model. And it is better than the previous models. How much better? It's hard to tell. A lot of the things they did about cybersecurity have been reproduced with smaller, cheaper models, but the technology is advancing, and every 6 months, things are getting better. The real question is how much, and the answer is we don't know. But basically, this is mostly marketing bullshit.
Right, thank you for that. Let's go on to the next question. So, you pointed out that a security firm called ISLE replicated some similar finding using older, cheaper, and publicly available models. So, what does that tell about Mythos, and what are the key differences between Mythos and ISLE's findings?
Well, what we know about Mythos is that it does better with one-shot prompting. So it needs less sophisticated prompts to do what it does. IL reproduced the Mythos published results with a much smaller, much cheaper model and better prompting, right? So some more sophisticated prompting. So that tells us something about Mythos's capabilities. And again, not just Mythos. Don't get hung up on Anthropic's marketing, on the frontier models, of which Mythos is one of them. They're doing better with less sophisticated single shot prompting. Which, I mean, the real question now is these frontier models with sophisticated prompting, what can they do? So other people are starting to look at these models, getting access to it. Remember that Anthropic couldn't release the models to the public because they're too expensive to run. They don't have the compute. The thing about the ISLE results is that they're much cheaper, right? That they're getting the same results at a much cheaper price point. So be careful. I mean, the frontier models tend to, set fire to a lot big piles of money because they don't have to do anything else. But it turns out being smarter with smaller, cheaper models gives you the same results.
How powerful do you think Mythos actually is today? Not in theory, not in marketing terms, but actually in real world cyber capability.
Again, not just Mythos. Let's just take them all in general, and let's stop doing Anthropic's marketing here. These models are very powerful. They're very good at finding vulnerabilities in source code. They're good at exploiting them, so weaponizing them. They're less good at patching them. And these capabilities are very broadly applicable. So I do think we're seeing improvements. I mean, the past 6 months, again, all the models, we've seen large improvements in writing, analyzing, understanding software, right? Software is just language. It's a highly stylized language, so it's very optimized for a large language model. And they're very good at this. And this has implications both the attack and the defense.
Question 4. Mythos appears to automate large parts of the cyber workflow. It does vulnerability discovery, exploit testing, and more. Do you think models like this will ultimately become more useful in defense or more useful for offense?
All right. So again, not just Mythos, it's everybody. They have value in both offense and defense, right? The offense is obvious. It's in your question. Finding a vulnerability, testing an exploit, running an exploit. On the defensive side, it's finding a vulnerability and then fixing it. 2 weeks ago, Firefox, I forget the number, 271 maybe, vulnerabilities in their browser, the AI found, and they're all fixed. Till the end of time, those vulnerabilities no longer be available to attackers. So finding and fixing is much more powerful than finding and exploiting, right? But finding and fixing is harder. So I think the end game is that this is more useful for defense than offense. In the short and medium term, more useful for offense than defense.
Anthropic says Mythos isn't just another product, it's a defensive project, but strategically, what does Anthropic actually have to gain from controlling a system like this?
I mean, basically, it gooses their valuation. They make all these claims about how good their model is and then don't let you test them. So you're forced to believe their marketing. So it's actually a huge strategic gain for them. It's a brilliant PR move. Everybody's talking about how good Mythos is, and nobody's actually confirmed that it's that good. So if you think about it, they did something really, really smart. Also remember, they cannot release it to the general public because they don't have the compute to run it. It's too expensive to run.
Anthropic argues that Glasswing gives defenders. One second. Do you see my screen?
I do.
Okay. Anthropic argues that Glasswing gives defenders a head start, but only if a small group of major companies and governments get access to it first. What will happen to everyone else?
Well, that's of course the issue. Hopefully everybody else realizes that it's not just Mythos, it's not just Anthropic, uses the GPT model, which by all tests is just as good as the new Anthropic model and generally available, and uses one of those, or uses a smaller, cheaper model and gives it to someone who's more experienced. So everyone else will have to realize that Anthropic doesn't have a monopoly on this capability.
I believe Anthropic is the best company to gatekeep Mythos, and will they do it correctly without others getting access to such a powerful AI?
So no company should be in the position of deciding what society should or should not get access to. This is not something that should be left to a for-profit corporation, the United States corporation. This should be something discussed by the people, by governments. So no, they're going to do a terrible job because they're going to do a job to maximize their value, not maximize benefit to everybody.
So AI is moving fast. If Mythos class systems become common across a lot of companies, does regulation have any chance of keeping up with the speed of development?
I mean, it does in theory. In practice, it's going to be harder. You know, we do regulate technologies that are damaging to life and property. Cars, airplanes, pharmaceuticals. I mean, those are highly regulated industries. This could become one of those highly regulated industries and probably should. It won't just because of money in politics and the inability of the international community to to figure out what to do. So I'm not really optimistic about regulation here, although I think we should try.
Different regions are going to approach AI governments very differently. Do you think we're heading towards one global AI framework or competing AI regulations? One second. AI regulations with completely different rules.
Now, the problem with a global framework of any sort is that it takes years or decades to put together. It's not something that can be done quickly. So we're going to have different countries with different rules. And that's the way it's going to be for the near term, because I just don't think the world's governments can get together on this in anything resembling a reasonable time length.
12, what would you compare Mythos to if all this data from Anthropic is correct? So basically, if it's not going to be that helpful in AI systems or very powerful.
Again, I don't know because we just don't have enough data, right? Anthropic is telling us the good stuff and not the bad stuff. For example, we don't even know the false positive rate of their ability to find vulnerabilities. And that's incredibly important. I mean, they found some impressive things, yes, but if they find 100 wrong things for every good thing they find, that's terrible. So it's very hard to sort of figure out what's going on with all of the information hidden from us.
And then question 13. The US government is receiving access to Mythos. I don't think any other government is. So how's that going to shift AI regulation?
You know, and it's only parts of the US government. I mean, last I heard, CISA is not getting access. So US government is not a monolith. And I heard that the UK government got access. So we don't actually know what's going on here. And I don't know if this will affect regulation at all, but it's certainly an issue. If a for-profit corporation gets to decide which governments get access and which governments don't. This is not something we expect corporations to do.
To close, what do you think the world looks like in 5 years if models like Mythos keep improving at this pace?
I mean, we don't know. We truly don't know. And the assumption there is not clear that these models will keep improving. At some point, they're going to reach some asymptotic limit. It might be now, it might be a year from now, it might be 5 years from now. And these capabilities are not improving in a uniform way. It's a very, very jagged edge of capabilities. It's really good at some things and terrible at other things. So I don't think we really can predict what the world will look like. And I don't know. In some ways, I think it's foolhardy to try just because there's so many variables.
Thank you for speaking. Really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you.